The Admissions Club was created as a soft place to land for students and families going through what can be a particularly stressful time in one's life, the college admissions journey. Hi, I'm your host, Elizabeth West. This podcast will feature inside information from my 10 years of college admissions experience and 25 years in higher education. Episodes are sprinkled with 80s nostalgia to connect with your students during that turbulent time we all experienced. We will learn together in fun and engaging conversations with guests who are key players in higher education and admissions, or they could be someone just like you going through the process of admissions. Whether you're a brain, an athlete, a basket case, a princess, or a criminal, there's a spot for you in the Admissions Club. Hi, and welcome to the Admissions Club. I'm Elizabeth West. I am your host and the person that's going to welcome you into the club. This is our first episode, and I am so excited to have you get to know me and have you get to know this podcast. So let's get started. And this episode is called Walking on Sunshine for a reason. I need to tell you about my experience and how I really enjoy working with students. And it makes me feel like walking on sunshine when I work with students, but also to do and be able to do this podcast is a dream come true. So let's talk about it. I want to bring you back to teenage me, and I was in my guidance counselor's office, and he told me that I was not college material. And the reason is I was not very proficient in math. And so this person actually did me a huge favor, because at that moment, I felt like I am going to show him and everyone else that not only am I a college material, but I am actually going to spend my entire career in colleges and universities. So maybe that wasn't the whole plan at that point, but I am stubborn and I wanted to prove him wrong. And I think I did. And so I'm originally from upstate New York, and I want to tell you about my whole journey through admissions and through coming to North Carolina. So I came to North Carolina after I graduated from college, and I was wide-eyed. I was very much a novice and wanted to go into journalism. I was given a job in journalism, but that job couldn't pay my rent or food. So I would be homeless and starving. So I had to choose something else. And what I found was an admissions counselor position at UNC Pembroke. It was Pembroke State University when I was looking at it. And they needed a college counselor. I was a campus tour guide. And so I thought, well, goodness, I know about admissions a little bit, and why not just spend a little time in college admissions, and then I will get a newspaper job somewhere else. So that kernel of an idea started my admissions career, and I spent 3 years at UNC Pembroke, and what they taught me there was how to be a roadrunner. And for all of those admissions people out there, they know that road running means that you are out recruiting for admissions season. And so I ran the road with some amazing people. I was setting up shop for college fairs, and I would set up my table and put out my brochures with the best of them. And it was some of the happiest years I ever spent. I was never home, but I enjoyed it very much. I have a story for you that when I moved down from New York, I obviously had all of my New York clothes, and my professional clothes were cold weather clothes because I lived in upstate New York. So if you can imagine me as a 21-year-old novice going through high schools in North Carolina in my wool blazers and wool skirts because I had to dress professionally, but quite frankly, I didn't have a lot of money at the time. So I wore the things that I wore in New York. And here's a tip. The clothes that you wear in New York don't work in North Carolina in the late summer months. I sweated my brains out. And so I learned about how to dress in the South, but I also learned how to recruit students and read applications. I basically learned the fundamentals of admissions at UNC Pembroke. And so then from Pembroke, I went to UNC Charlotte. And Charlotte was kind of a dream of mine, not only for the city. I absolutely loved the city as soon as I set foot in the city. But when I was applying to UNC Charlotte, I knew that I would get sort of a higher level of admissions experience there and a technical admissions experience. And absolutely, that's what I got. So I learned to handle mammoth application volumes. I traveled for UNC Charlotte to New York and New Jersey because that's my jam. And I grew at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. So basically, I started out as kind of a green admissions officer, and I emerged from UNC Charlotte as a seasoned admissions professional. I was associate director of admissions when I left UNC Charlotte. I conducted committee meetings. I learned the mechanics of admission. I trained tour guides. And I had some of the best admissions experiences of my entire career at UNC Charlotte. I really grew up. I feel like I grew up at UNC Charlotte. And then I went to Carolinas College of Health Sciences, which is a nursing and healthcare professional college, which was very specialized and very competitive. And it was a wonderful experience. I got to learn a little different brand of admissions as I was not the one making admissions decisions anymore. I was preparing all of the information for a committee of nurses. And the nursing faculty were making those decisions. And that was kind of a hit to my ego. If I must say, I was really like, oh my gosh, here I am in charge of admissions and I'm not making the decisions. But I learned a different brand of admissions and I was very grateful for that. I was very grateful to learn more about nursing programs and surgical technology and phlebotomy and all of those amazing healthcare needs. So I am absolutely grateful to that experience. But I had a child and I didn't want to work evenings and weekends. And I really kind of wanted to be there with my son as he was in his formative years. So I switched to teaching. And I never thought I'd be a teacher, but I switched to teaching. I learned how to teach at Central Piedmont Community College. I have my master's degree in education, but as other people can attest, that they don't really teach you how to teach until you go into the classroom and learn through trial and error. And so that's what I did. But through teaching, I learned systems for disseminating tough information. I learned to slow my pacing down so that, I may know something and can fly through it, but my students needed to come along for the ride. So I needed to slow down and I needed to truly explain the information I was giving my students in a way that was meaningful, that used real-world examples, and that was ultimately useful for them in the future. One thing was missing. I enjoyed my teaching so much, but there was a little aspect of me that missed admissions. And I've got to tell you, that little aspect grew and grew. I taught for 14 years, and at the end of my teaching tenure, I was hearing so many people telling admissions myths. You know, all of those things that go around that become truth after they've been told over and over and over again. And it was really getting frustrating to me because I had a background in admissions. I spent 10 years of my career in admissions making those decisions, and I wanted to help people understand admissions better. So I started a side hustle called EWC Consulting. And what I wanted to do was help local families through the admissions process, help them with every aspect of the process that was scary, that was confusing, and really point out to people that they don't know what they don't know. I know that sounds weird, but it's true, that you really do need kind of a helping hand with this whole process. So I started EWC in 2019 as a side hustle. It grew during the pandemic, which we all know was a difficult time. It grew so much that I became full-time at EWC Consulting as the CEO in July 2021. And now, 2022, it has grown so much. The EWC counseling has grown so much. I have worked with a number of families and students and helped them through the college process and get into colleges that, you know, some people, it was their dream college. And then other people have gotten into colleges that they didn't even know existed. But I helped them discover these colleges, and they are very happy. But the one thing is, I am starting a podcast, which is amazing and wonderful, and I am so excited about it. So here we are in podcast land, and I like it so far. It feels pretty good. I hope you do as well. We will be here together weekly to discuss the latest in admissions news and information to help you through the admissions journey. And we're going to learn from special guests who have admissions expertise. Maybe they have mental health expertise, and maybe they are parents and students that I work with, that you can hear from their experience on what the admissions journey is like with me. This podcast is for you, the parents, students, and families of people out there that I can't possibly work with because I can't work with everybody, right? So I want to be your partner in your journey to getting a college degree. Please let me know if you have any episode ideas, and I want this to be a comfortable yet helpful spot for you to relax, enjoy some Gen X tunes from my Spotify playlist, and know there's always a place for you at the Admissions Club. Thank you for listening to the Admissions Club podcast. Be sure to check out our Admissions Club playlist on Spotify for all of those Gen X vibes. If you're looking for one-on-one coaching on the college admissions process, my company EWC Consulting can help. Email me at elizabeth@ncewc.com. Check out our website at ncewc.com, or follow us on Facebook at NCEWC. All of those links are in the show notes. Invite your friends to join the club. Be sure to subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Can't wait to see you in our next episode.